I have great privilege in introducing Dr. Anitha Sumanth, Honorable Justice of Madras High Court. She hails from a family of leading lawyers practicing income tax law. Her father, late Sri V. Ramachandran, was a highly respected senior advocate. Her paternal uncle, late Sri V. Balasubramaniam, retired as Vice President of the Income Tax Appellate Tribunal. After retirement, he served as counsel to the Income Tax Department in the Bombay High Court. Dr. Anitha Sumanth has pursued BA English Literature at Women's Christian College, Madras, BL at Government Law College, Madras, ML in Constitutional and Public International Law at University of Madras, and PhD awarded by the National Law School of India, University, Bangalore in International Taxation, Electronic Commerce. She joined the chambers of Senior Advocate Sri V. Ramachandran upon enrollment and practiced extensively before the Supreme Court, High Courts, tribunals and other appellate forums, as well as the authority of advance rulings, specializing in direct and indirect taxes and corporate laws. She has argued several hundreds of matters during her illustrious career as an advocate. She takes an active interest in professional development. She was the chairperson of AIFTP, All India Tax Federation of Tax Practitioners, and has participated in several lectures on topics of interest to professionals. She has held the position of Special Government Pleader, Madras High Court since June 2014 and has appointed Permanent Judge of the Madras High Court in October 2016, presenting Dr. Anitha Sumanth to this august gathering. Thank you.
Our District Chairman and the convener of this rally, Kamla and Kamla, will welcome our speaker to the stage with a memento to thank her for being here today.
Around you. And I think that's a great thing. So can I request, through the year, you celebrate women, you celebrate women's causes, the empowerment of women, and you've taken this one day off to celebrate yourselves. Please give yourselves, on my behalf, a standing ovation. Please give all of you a standing ovation for yourselves. I think each of you deserve it. Thank you. My association with the Rotary is not recent. It's perhaps close to about 3 decades old. And I've been involved in the capacity of an Annette, a very active Rotractor, briefly for a while an Anne, but somehow in a wheel bypassed me. And I don't know, perhaps it's because at the time when we were actively engaged, in a wheel as a movement was, at least as far as I could make out, not as visible, not as powerful, not as empowered a movement as it is today. And one reason is that while inner wheel clubs were connected to the sponsoring Rotary clubs till very recently, I understand now that you've broken away and you've acquired a status of your own. And you have standalone inner wheel clubs, clubs that function the horse, that umbilical cord with the Rotary Club. That's excellent. That's great to know. But it also emphasizes one thing. It shows that the need for service, the recipients of the service need your service a lot more than they did at any time in the past. And that's a need that you have to rise to the occasion to be able to deliver. The term Shiros intrigued me when I was in conversation with your chairman, when she was kind enough to come and invite me. And of course, it's not rocket science. You can make out that Shiro's is a hero who's specifically a woman. And when I Googled the term, I found the app that your chairperson was talking about, an excellent initiative which brings to one platform an app that facilitates women empowerment by a woman, for a woman, and what more is democracy rather than that. So a great effort and kudos to that. Having said that, a hero is one who is attributed the qualities of outstanding courage, service, noble qualities, and a hero is a gender-neutral term. So you don't really need to be called a Shiro. Each one of you is a hero in the sense of the term as we understand it. I've just been given 10 minutes to speak to you, and I just have one message. I'm just going to keep it very short. Now, my experience with Rotary over the years brings back very, very fond memories. In fact, Mr. Radhakrishnan, who's here and who's the one who persuaded me to be here this morning, Uma, Keshav, all of them are my close associates from Rotary over the years. And though we have not really been in touch over the years, I have very, very fond memories of my time with the organization. We engaged in a wide range of projects. I remember in early 90s, AIDS had just sort of swept the country. And we did a wide range of programs to combat AIDS, AIDS awareness programs. Apart from that, a whole lot of other programs also, which stand in my mind for the need that they actually serviced. But I will be presumptuous enough to make one suggestion to all of you. And that is this. In order to make a difference, you need to institutionalize the concept of service. No doubt, Inner Wheel as an organization has done that to an extent. You have institutionalized what service is. But there is one debilitating factor, and that is that your team leaders have a tenure of only 1 year. And therefore, while your team leaders for this year have one vision, have one set of programs that they endorse, that they sponsor, that they propagate through their tenure, next year you have somebody who comes with brilliant ideas, no doubt. Brilliant ideas, brilliantly executed, everything is great. But only thing is, there is a lack of continuity that I see in regard to a permeating sense of good that could happen over the years. And this is something that I wish that you would address. In order to effectively serve, you have to have the will. That's not the problem, because if the will was not there, we would not have a room full of gorgeous women all engaged in service. So the will is there. Second is you have to have the vision. You all have the vision also, but is it a cohesive vision? I remember in Rotary, we had what was called the Polio Plus campaign. Mr. Ramakrishnan will remember. And that was a district initiative, and that was something which made a difference as far as eradication of polio was concerned. No doubt the byline or the USP of Inner Wheel is empowerment of women, and no doubt you're doing a whole range of activities towards that cause. But my request is to break that down into a cohesive, not just a fancy phrase, but let me give you an example. You have juvenile justice homes in the country. You have juvenile justice homes in the state which are all run by the state, but they need a great deal of assistance. They need a great deal of assistance, not just in resources, but they need people. They need ideas. They need empathy, all of which can be provided by an institution like yours. Please do identify one solid cause without it being a very large cause like empowerment of women, because that's something which is already there in the back of the mind. That's what you're working towards. But if you can identify one solid cause that you can associate that institution with, and then more importantly, institutionalize that cause, so that whether your national president is Mrs. Saroj or it is Mrs. Ramakrishnan, the name is not important. The cause would survive, dehorse the person who's at the head of things. That's what's required to be done. And we find that the best work is done by those institutions that have institutionalized the cause. I made this suggestion a few years ago in a Women's Day address to the Women's Lawyers Association. And one thing that I requested them to do is, I said, have a report card. I'm not saying stop the other activities that you do. I would be the last one to say that. Please continue with all the good work that you're doing. The world needs it. Women need it. But before that, if you could have one resonating, one recurring theme, which could permeate through the years, and then have it as a 5-year project. After 5 years or 7 years, that cause perhaps would have been served. Then you go on to the next thing. But identify it so that it's long term, it will endure beyond the person who is at the helm of affairs. And I suggested to them that you have a report card, not to compare. We are not here to compare and say that this year the performance under the leadership of one person and not the other. No, that's not the idea at all. The idea is to vest accountability. So when you have a report card, you vest accountability. You vest that responsibility in them and say, yes, in my tenure, how much of progress have we made? How many steps forward have we taken? That will be the purpose. This is the legacy that I would request this team to put in place. Before you hand over your baton, ladies, identify one major cause, specific cause, that you as enablers and catalysts can contribute to. Lay out a vision for it, not just a 20-point vision which has fancy phrases. No, that's not what I'm talking about. A concrete vision. And hand that over as a baton from one set of leaders to another. That's all the time that I have. You have all lived the phrase Vasudeva Kutumbakam. For you, the entire fraternity of women is a family. And I wish you the very best that you can do, that you can achieve in this area. Asatoma Satgamaya, Tamasoma Jyotirgamaya, Mrityoma Amritam Gamaya. With the great service that you all do, I do pray that it will help us to be led from untruth, from darkness to light, and from death to immortality. Thank you very much for this invitation.